What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's Mir Mazimoyo, and on this channel we talk self-care and fitness for busy millennial mamas. So let's get right into this video. I want to just kind of share with y'all my experience and also some of my research on training abs, the abdominal muscles after pregnancy, and some of the do's and don'ts, some of the things that you want to avoid, and just some of the things that you need to know, sis, so you can get it back right, tight, and snatched. Please do subscribe for more updates and uploads on my channel. I have so much information to give y'all, so much more videos to give you, and so many more chats. Like, we just need to chat more. So definitely subscribe and hit the bell so that you are notified for future videos. And I hope you enjoy. I was on training abs after pregnancy, and I say this because I personally have looked up so much information, done so much research, and talked to a lot of people in my community online. And a lot of people, it's not common to know what to do after pregnancy. They tell us don't do certain things, or they tell us just go ahead, do whatever you feel. 6 weeks pass, you go ahead, girl, you good. You thumbs up from the doc. I want to give you some of the information that I've gathered about training abs after pregnancy. Alright, sis. So, like I said, it's a very popular question. One of the most popular questions that I get from new mamas, new clients. They say, is it possible for me to get my waist back after having had a baby? And a lot of the time, we don't even know why it's so hard, so we don't really know what to do. There's a term called Diastasis Recti, and basically with that term, it means it classifies a separation of abdominal muscles. And the abdominal muscles, they're usually closed like this, but once we have a baby, of course, they're, we're pregnant, it's like this. And then once we have the baby, a lot of times they're still separated. One thing that we really have to practice is correcting that before moving on to any other form of exercise. And it has to be a practice that we put into play, because I feel like we don't give the postpartum period as much attention as it deserves, okay? We're gonna be constantly in the postpartum period, but those beginning 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 16 weeks or so, they're so important for recovery long term that we cannot continue to downplay it, okay? A lot of mamas have diastasis recti, we know this. There are some common myths. Like I said, a lot of people will either tell you to go hard or go home. So some people may say, go ahead. I went on to do insanity, like just did whatever, because there was hardly any information out there about it. And a lot of people say, well, just jump into an exercise program, get on a treadmill, go ahead and do your crunches. Maybe that'll help your stomach go down. And that's actually a myth. You should not go hard right after having a baby. It can actually cause further damage. So if your stomach muscles are like this and you're constantly doing a crunching motion, that causes those muscles to open and close as you're crunching. And that can cause further damage because it can stretch them further out of place from being open and closed so much. So that's also why I suggest a few things, and I'll put them in the description box, links for what I used as far as bracing, wrapping your stomach in a postpartum 8 to 16 to 20 week period after having a baby. So some people say go home. Some say go hard. Some say go home. Some people say do not get back in the gym. Don't worry about it. You're a mom. That's how your body's going to be. We make sacrifices for our children. And they literally say no more crunching ever after having a baby. So we have two schools of thought here. Telling you or giving you advice on the postpartum period is so tricky, because I would really need to speak with you personally. You can book an appointment with me down below, but I want to know how you feel. I want to know your energy levels. I want to know, when you do certain assessments that I can give you, how much separation do you have between those two muscles? And what that really tells us is what you're able to do right now. I have a postpartum program where I basically kind of walk you through step by step, building up those core muscles from the inside out. A lot of times we're so focused on our six-pack ab muscles, right? But the inner abdominal muscles are the ones that really hold us in. That's our real corset. Like, it actually holds us in, stabilizes our body, and it does so much more than just look good in a crop top, okay? I will say that there has to be a balance in between the go hard and go home. You do have to take your time. I never, ever, ever suggest that a woman just jump right back into her regular scheduled exercise programming right after having a baby. Like, sis, Sit down, okay? I feel like there are a few different truths that you need to know, a few different do's and don'ts. Like, for instance, crunching, you do not want to do in that period until you're actually cleared by someone who understands the postpartum period. And then another thing is that the core can be corrected and re-strengthened. There are certain therapy things that you can do to actually close that gap as much as you can. I will say for certain extreme cases, you do seriously need to talk to your doctor about other options. But in most cases, or I would say in a moderate case, you can correct it to a certain extent. Like, I still feel like I have some, but I feel like I have corrected it to a certain extent. In my experience, I have had a 8-pound baby, y'all, and I've had a 5-pound baby, both of which left my stomach just weak. And even though I was active, a little bit more active during my first pregnancy, I was just very, afterwards, I just could, like, it was very hard for me to just like sit up using my core. I would have to roll to the side and sit up. And it's just like a lot of different things that are different after having a baby that you have to like really just take the time to go through that recovery phase. So one thing that we now know is that the core can be corrected. And should you train abs after pregnancy? It really depends on your specific amount of abdominal separation. So like I said, I would definitely want to get you on the phone and talk to you about your experience and just have you walk through a few assessments to kind of see where you are in your journey. And then I feel like once you get to the point where you have closed those abdominal walls enough with some of the exercises that I've shared on my channel in the past, but abdominal bracing, pelvic tilt. My baby, wow. Abdominal bracing, pelvic tilts, and things like that. I feel like the core can be corrected enough for you to train abs after pregnancy. So that is my answer. One thing that I would definitely suggest that you do first is wrap your stomach. Shh. Shh. Wrap your stomach. And this is something that had been passed down from generation to generation. You know, our grandmamas used to say, our great-great-grandmamas used to say, put a girdle on after you had that baby. We looked at it as grandma's just being so old-fashioned. Grandma don't know what I need to do. I got to go back to work. I don't have time for these old wives' tales, right? Let me tell you, I wrapped my stomach with both pregnancies, and I could definitely feel a difference when I had it on to when I didn't. So I experienced a lot of back pain. I experienced a lot of even just like pain in my actual abdominal area. Like, I would feel kind of along the middle line. I would sometimes feel pain almost as if it was like stretching or maybe trying to repair and heal. I don't know. But I experienced a lot of pain, and I found that wearing my wrap, I had a really great postpartum wrap. I got it on Amazon for under $20. So I will share that with you all in the description box. So check that. I found that wearing it made a huge difference in the way that I was able to walk through and experience my day-to-day life. So definitely get that for any mamas to be, any friends who just had a baby. It is definitely important and necessary after you have a baby. Now, there are a lot of traditional ways to experience this as well, with actual fabric. Like, I know that in Morocco and a lot of places in Africa and a lot of places just throughout the world, women have used like 11 yards of fabric, 7 yards of fabric to wrap their body from the top of the ribs down to the hips to really close those bones and to get everything back into place and really act as your core, stabilize your body while your body is recovering so that those muscles can come back better. You know what I mean? Very important, y'all. I would definitely suggest doing that for a good 10 weeks. Do it for a good 10 weeks and do not skimp, because I promise you, it is the best thing that you could be doing right now. They're not cute. The wraps that I got was decent. It was black. It had mesh, so it was breathable, and it had some boning, almost like a corset, but it definitely didn't hurt or anything like that. It was just like a little stiff so that it would give you some support. And it didn't like make your waist look small or anything. Like, it had straps and all kind of stuff, but it really helped. So I would definitely suggest doing that, like I said. So through those exercises that I talked to you about. I also like a lot of Pilates exercises to incorporate in that first phase of recovery. But I can talk to you more about that. If you are interested in the program, definitely comment below and I will hook you up with some information about it. Yeah, definitely training abs after pregnancy. It depends on how long after pregnancy, in my opinion. But there are women who bounce back, who snap back, and don't have those problems with ab separation or even intense recovery. And for you lucky mamas, you go, girl. But for other women who don't have that experience, I definitely think it's important to go through the recovery phase first. And I did not start actually training my abs until 8 months after I had my baby. So that's something to take into account. And my abs are still not the best, okay? But it is something to take into account that you should take your time when training abs after pregnancy. That is not a race, a short game. That's a long game. So you do what you have to first to repair the tissue and to bring the muscles back together and to really stabilize your body. And then jump into training abs once you're 100% sure that you're able to do those movements without causing further damage. Always get a natural physician's opinion, a midwife's opinion, a doctor's opinion, maybe a trainer who is experienced in dealing with diastasis recti. And at that point, that's when I would suggest you are able to train abs. But for a rule of thumb, wait 8 months. And that's what I suggest to all of my mamas. So if y'all have any more questions on this topic, definitely let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. This is one of my favorite topics, one of the things I love to talk to the mamas about. And I will see y'all in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are not subscribed, again, what are you waiting for, sis? What are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Peace.